Joker is an incredibly successful R-rated DC movie that's serious and dramatic, and many of us expect it to be the start of a series of similarly styled darker movies about DC characters. But which ones should Warner Brothers give the serious dramatic treatment? Technically, any DC character is eligible to get the same type of movie Joker got, but going over every DC character in existence would be way too time consuming. So I've thought of 7 who might make good cases. So let's get started. Number 1, Batman. Joker explored a more realistic version of that character, so what would a more realistic version of his arch nemesis be like? Who would Batman be if he really existed in our world? Would he be like a ripped playboy version of Bill Gates? Or would he be some actor or socialite who's always in the tabloids but has a dark secret? In DC Comics, Bruce Wayne, supposed to be a partying playboy whom no one would expect, is actually a serious crime fighter. So in our real world, would it be like if one of the Kardashians was a genius who was only pretending to be a reality TV star no one took seriously? He could also be something completely different, like a guy who just decides to deliver some hardcore R-rated justice against criminals, like the Punisher or Charles Bronson in the Death Wish movies. They could go that route, but it's dangerous. The media tried to destroy Joker for its violence. They do the same for a Punisher-style Batman movie that has even more violence. Number 2, Superman Red Son. Superman Red Son has turned into an animated movie, but before that there were rumors that Warner Brothers and DC were going to do a live-action Superman Red Son, which they could still do if they wanted to. The Todd Phillips Joker movie is supposed to be an alternate version of that character, so why not do an alternate universe Superman movie where Kal-El's rocket crash lands in the Soviet Union instead of Kansas? A darker DC movie set in another country would allow Warner Brothers to explore political and cultural issues that they couldn't do with one set in the United States. However, I wouldn't want them to focus on an alternate version of Superman before they got the main regular version of Superman right first in the DCEU. Either give us a Man of Steel 2 or a rebooted Superman character first before focusing energy on a different type of Superman. Most of us want the real Superman back, DC, so hurry up. Number 3, Lex Luthor. Another rumored DC dark movie about Superman's most famous enemy has also made the rounds. And it would make sense from a ripped from the headlines perspective. People talk a lot about the corruption of billionaires and businessmen and how corporate greed hurt middle class and poor people. So there would be a lot of social commentary and real-world parallels in a Lex Luthor movie. We even have a wealthy businessman currently as our president. Class warfare and stories about haves and have-nots are timeless tales, so a movie about an evil rich guy's rise to power could definitely work. Number 4, Poison Ivy. DC likes to reinvent characters, so making Poison Ivy a more realistic type of eco-terrorist or an environmentalist who goes too far could be interesting. There was this old Sigourney Weaver movie called Gorillas in the Mist, about an environmentalist who went crazy and got overly aggressive and threatening with people in Rwanda on her quest to protect endangered gorillas. Warner Brothers could go this route with Poison Ivy, an environmentalist in a foreign country who goes too far in her quest to save Earth's ecosystem. Number 5, Scarecrow. What about an evil doctor? Silence of the Lambs featured Hannibal Lecter, an evil doctor who was a serial killer. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest featured the horrible Nurse Ratched, who went too far in her treatment of mentally ill patients. Both prestige Oscar-caliber movies. They could turn Dr. Jonathan Crane into a cold, sadistic doctor in a mental hospital who exploits or increases patients' fear, or into a doctor who's also a serial killer that preys upon victims' fears. Number 6, Brainiac. In Superman comics, Brainiac's an artificial intelligence that goes bad, controlling and destroying entire planets or societies and races. A lot of people today in the real world fear the singularity and machines conquering or destroying the world. Movies about AI that takes over the world are made all the time, so DC could do it with Brainiac. Or they could take another route about dangerous technology. Black Mirror, for example, a respected show, explores the dark side of technology all the time. There are many ways that Brainiac, a nefarious, dangerous computer system, could be brought to the big screen. What happens in an advanced, futuristic society like Krypton when one of their computer systems goes rogue? And what if it comes to Earth? Number 7. The Atom. This one's a stretch, but bear with me. The atom shrinks down even to molecular size. That's a lot like Marvel's Ant-Man, right? But the Ant-Man movies are fun and silly, so DC could make the Atom different by going more serious. Let me explain. In comics, the Atom goes so small at times, he goes into miniature worlds, which is comparable to movies about people who explore or get trapped in other dimensions or planets. Think of hard-hitting sci-fi dramas like The Martian, about a man who gets trapped on Mars, or Annihilation, about women who get trapped in another dimension that's absorbing our own. They're basically sci-fi movies about humans in foreign environments. I think DC could easily do an Atom movie this way if they swapped out another planet or dimension with some subatomic world. But what do you think? Do you agree with my choices? And who else do you think should be on this list? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.